It's Thursday, June 11th. This one goes to 11/2015. And welcome to the Alien Invasion number 146, a production of GalacticNetcasts.com. I'm Dave Nelson, and joining me as always is Brad Ludwig. Welcome, Brad.
It's good to be here. Thanks for having me once more.
You're always welcome. We started this together. We'll finish this together.
That's what she said. Take a drink.
Wouldn't be a Galactic Netcast without. That's what she said.
Sad but true.
Well, Brad, it's good to be back. We took a week off. And do you want to talk about why, or do you want to just leave that kind of...
That's not a tale for me to tell. And
all right,
we'll leave it there for right now.
We'll wait on that, and maybe we'll explain it in the future. But for now, we're living in the present, and in the present, we're talking about aliens and like extraterrestrial aliens that we see in film, TV, video games. What else, Brad?
YouTube stuff. Wherever, comic books. We don't care.
Yeah, real life. You're driving down the road. Oh, look up. There's a light. Oh, it's coming towards me. Oh, I lost time. I'm being abducted. Oh. That kind of alien too.
It could happen just like that.
It could happen to you. And this show is divided into 3 sections: the news, the sightings feature, and our picks for the week. And if you want to watch us do the show live, I would suggest you go to our website, galacticnetcasts.com. There's a little thing in the very left-hand corner. It says the Galactic Collective. You click on that, and you follow us on the social networks. And bang, if you're paying attention to your feeds, you'll find out when we're going live. Then you join us. You click the link, and you watch us do the show live. Or you can always watch us later, either on YouTube at youtube.com/galacticnetcasts, or go to our YouTube page, which is... Wait a second, I just said that. Go to our website, galacticnetcast.com, and click on the live page. All right, Bradley, are you ready?
Heck yeah.
All right, here we go.
In the news. In the news.
All right, here we go. In the news this week, I've got 2 stories. You've got 1. Let's go. Massive extraterrestrial crafts hiding behind the moon.
What?
That deserves some kind of something off the soundboard.
Oh, wait. It does. Here.
Yeah. Dr. Eric Norton. Hey, Norton. An outside consultant for the NSA and NASA for the past 12 years, who was hired to track various objects in space, including meteors, comets, etc., recently stated that officials are baffled as to why numerous extraterrestrial crafts have docked themselves on the opposite side of the moon.
That is crazy.
I know. Okay, so going back a couple of years, January 22nd, 2012, Dr. Norton was called to the McDonald Observatory in Texas and saw massive 3-dimensional black structures in space in straight line formation advancing in the direction of planet Earth. The objects were getting so close that, with our telescopes, we could see the structural features of these things in high detail. They were shaped as a 3-dimensional L-shaped craft. By January 2013, the objects had been tracked to about 200,000 miles past the planet Mars. Once they reached this point, almost instantaneously, the objects vanished from our telescope lenses, as if they had activated some sort of invisibility shield at the flick of a switch. I knew that the upper echelons of government were worried about these things because I was under a constant 24/7 guard by Secret Service agents. This is him talking, this Eric Norton. Just to clarify, not me talking, him. For nearly the entire year of 2013, we watched the skies in disbelief. We didn't know what was going on or where these things were. according to my calculations. These things would have been so close to us by now that we would have no problem seeing them in the night sky. We didn't know if they were still coming or had left the solar system. Dr. Norton was sent home and was awaiting additional orders if needed, but had not heard anything about the situation for approximately 6 months. Dr. Norton finally made a call to a close friend who he worked with confidentially, who told Norton that the objects reappeared and had repositioned themselves behind the moon in a circular type of alignment, which allowed them to dock to the backside of the moon in order to remain invisible to sky watchers. Many people believe that the moon is a large satellite, so the possibility remains that those who placed it there have returned.
I love the conspiracy theory that the moon is just an artificially, it's not a moon at all. It's hollow, and it's basically the Death Star, and it's just orbiting planet Earth innocuously, and someday they're gonna get us.
I've seen the plans. Have you seen the plans?
I have seen the plans, and wow, is that ridiculous.
I don't know. I keep on seeing more and more news stories about the moon. Like, I don't know if it's because of the people I follow on Facebook and other social media, or just things have popped up more recently, but I keep on seeing things about the moon, like structures on the moon, or craft near the moon, or whatever. A lot of moon-related stuff. Maybe they're trying to promote the sequel to Iron Sky.
Possibly.
Yeah.
Or that, what was that crappy sci-fi horror film, The Dark of the Moon?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
No, you're thinking of Transformers, right?
No, there was a or was it Apollo 18, or what was there was a movie where the cover of it, you see an astronaut is like being pulled into the shadows, and he's like trying to dig his hands into the soil so he's not pulled into the darkness.
That would be Apollo 18.
Okay, that's what I was thinking of. I apologize.
And wasn't there also some kind of video on YouTube? I believe.
Oh, yes.
It was your pick one week.
Yes, it was.
Where it was supposedly there was this found footage, or this other mission to the moon that was covered up, and there was this footage, and there was aliens and all this stuff.
It was a joint U.S.-Soviet venture, no less.
Oh, wow.
Uh-huh.
So I got this story from beforeitsnews.com. Have you ever been to beforeitsnews.com?
Yes, I have.
It's a great website.
It's awesome.
It's a fantastic website. If you want to see the crazy side of the internet, go to beforeitsnews.com.
Yeah, if you miss the National Enquirer or the Mirror.
Well, weekly Weird not Weird World Weekly. Weekly World News.
Yes.
Another one.
Yeah. It's all that and more.
Yep. Any subject that you want to talk about or read about is on Before It's News. So I think both Brad and I highly recommend that you check it out.
And by highly recommend, we mean prepare to laugh your butt off. Yeah.
So the likelihood that this is real is not very good.
No.
But hey, it's a whistleblower, so who the hell, he may know more than we do.
Maybe. Or he could be off his medication. We don't know.
If you believe him, listeners, let us know. Send us feedback, galacticnetcasts@gmail.com. You can go to our website, galacticnetcasts.com, and click on this little vertical tab on the right-hand side of the screen, and you can record a message to us on the website, or you can call our voicemail number, which is 805-328-3966. All right, let's move on to the news. Brad, what'd you bring to the podcast this week?
Well, I got me a little story from the Telegraph from the UK.
All right.
And this is a legit news story. The headline, Astronomer Royal If we find aliens, they will be machines.
Obviously.
Well, he makes a great case for this, and it makes perfect sense. Alien contact is likely to come from machines living on worlds outside of the solar system, the Astronomer Royal Martin Rees has said. Professor Lord Rees, 72, told the Cheltenham. Daryl will probably correct us on that. The Cheltenham Science Festival. I'm not holding my breath for signs of extraterrestrial life, but said if said signal was picked up, it would not be from organic life like humans. He said that most space exploration would be carried out by machines, which would not be constrained by the physical difficulties of existing in space or on other planets. I think it is quite likely that within a few centuries, the overriding intelligence will be machines because they will have an easier time spreading beyond the Earth because they are not organic and most exploration will be by machines and not by humans. If you were to detect a SETI, that's the Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence signal, it would be far more likely that it would be from a machine and not an organic creature. There has been just a thin sliver of time when organic beings have existed, and billions of years after machines will take over, so they will be in the future. He claimed that such cyber adaptations to new planets or moons would mark the start of the post-human era. Space Adventures Limited is already planning the first tourist trips to the dark side of the moon so that they can find the docking bay on the back side of the moon where all those flying saucers are. I just added that part. That was
no, but that makes all the sense in the world. Yeah, of course.
While SpaceX, the company founded by Elon Musk, which regularly delivers payloads to the International Space Station, is hoping to start transporting tourists as well as cargo into space in the near future. Professor Rees said, "We won't see another Apollo mission because that was fueled by superpower rivalry, the rivalry between us and the USSR. I think there will be people who go, but not in the mode of traditional astronauts, but crazy adventurers like Ranulph Phineas and Elon Musk. I would predict that in the next 50 years or so, of all the bodies in the solar system, they will be mapped and probed by machines, and some people will follow." Professor Rees said he was concerned about the rise of biotechnology and warned that computers and robots will soon be so advanced they will be able to create the next generation of machines without human intervention. Stephen Hawking recently cautioned that the rise in artificial intelligence could spell the end of mankind. Now, this article has been kind of edited for time. If you go to the show notes, you'll be able to click on the link for this telegraph.co.uk news article that I highly recommend you checking out.
But I get what he's trying to say, though, is why go into space ourselves when there's perfectly good machines that could do it for us? Or that could be that they could do the heavy lifting out there. They could have more of a presence than we have, but when we need to get out there, we will.
I mean, so many accommodations have to be made because we are organic. You know, you look at the rovers that are on the moon on Mars.
Yeah.
They've been there for some time. There's no way that you could get a human, at least at this point in time, to be on Mars and do that kind of exploration at this time. It's incredibly dangerous, and we don't have anything really set up, you know, infrastructure wise to get, you know, even supplies. If there was an emergency on Mars, God forbid, you know, how would you handle that? We don't have a way to deal with it. So getting machines to do that kind of pioneer exploration is going to be critical moving forward with anything that we do. We're not going to put a human in harm's way right off the bat. We will send a machine to do that job first and gather data for us, and then we would figure out how to get an organic being there.
I put an article up on the Galactic newsfeed on the website this week talking about just that, where NASA has a plan to bring all these supplies to Mars before they send people there, to get the infrastructure set up for them, to make it easier and more safe for them. In fact, they're talking about going to one of Mars's moons first as the first destination, then go to the surface of Mars. And they'll bring all the equipment they need to the moon, and then the astronauts will pick that stuff up, then they'll go to the surface of Mars. So yeah, I could totally makes a lot of sense. Makes a hell of a lot of sense. All right. Good
it's
stuff.
all about being as practical as possible and keeping humans safe.
Yep, exactly. I mean, it doesn't mean that we won't have a presence out there. We'll have a presence out there. I mean, look at that probe that's approaching. Well, we've got a couple of probes right now. That the one that just flew by Sirius, right? That I don't know what you would call that. It's a big asteroid, basically, right?
Yeah, it's a huge asteroid, and that's in the Kuiper Belt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there's that mission that's about to fly by Pluto. I mean, look at all the great photographs that these probes are snapping, and they're picking up all the information, all the data from sensors on board. So it's like we're there without being there, without saying, "Oh, hey, we're in space. Look at us. We're in space. Let's do a selfie in space. Hey." So yeah, I think that's the best way to go about it. You know, get the infrastructure in place, make it safe for us. Then we'll head out there.
Yep.
All right. Hey, we would love for you to go onto iTunes right now and subscribe to this podcast if you haven't already. If you have already and you like the show, jump onto iTunes anyways and give us 5 stars. You know, if you like the show. If you don't like the show, we're not going to force you to give us 5 stars. Give 5 stars if you like us. And then write something up. Write a review about the podcast, because that helps us get even more subscribers and more people can enjoy this podcast like you do. So again, please do us this favor. And if you write something about us on iTunes, we will read your name and we will read your review on the podcast. So we're getting something out of it. You're getting something out of it. You can also jump onto Stitcher. We're also on Stitcher, and give us a review there as well. So do one of those things, and we would really appreciate it. So final news story this week, and this is more in the entertainment genre. We always like to put at least one entertainment story in the news, and this one is about Independence Day 2. First synopsis for Independence Day 2 has been released after Independence Day. Okay, this is the official synopsis, Brad. Are you ready?
I am ready, sir.
Are you holding on to something?
I am holding on to this table with white-knuckled anticipation.
Okay, well, don't squeeze too tight. I don't want you to lose circulation in your hands.
Okay.
All right. So, after Independence Day redefined the event movie genre, the next epic chapter delivers global catastrophe on an unimaginable scale. Using recovered alien technology, the nations of Earth have collaborated on an immense defense program to protect the planet. But nothing can prepare us for the aliens' advanced and unprecedented force. Wait a second. Is that the second time unprecedented was used in that? No. We had catastrophe. We had unimaginable.
Unimaginable, yep.
Yeah. That was the word. Collaborated and unprecedented. They're pulling out
immense. Oh yeah.
Pulling out all the stops on the words. Only the ingenuity. Another one. Only the ingenuity of a few brave men and women can bring our world back from the brink of extinction. This synopsis was first spotted on Rotten Tomatoes last month, but people weren't sure if it was official or not. Now that it has appeared in a licensing expo magazine, we can now say it is. That's the official synopsis for Independence Day 2, which they're filming right now. They're also filming the new X-Files series. Have you seen the pictures from the set, Brad?
Yes, I have.
That was pretty cool. I love seeing Mulder and Scully back together again.
Yeah, and it looks like the episode Home is going to be a part of this. which I am very excited about.
Now, that's a follow-up to which one of the original series?
Home. Well, in the original X-Files, Home was the episode where they end up going to a house where this family has been inbreeding for a very, very long time.
Oh, yeah.
And it kind of has a Texas Chainsaw Massacre sort of a vibe without the gore. And I just remember that the family dated back to like the Civil War era. And yeah, the family is just interbreeding and things get very weird.
Wasn't there a Cher song or Cher music involved in that episode?
Not in that episode. That was a different episode with a guy who he had a tail. It's an actual legitimate condition where he's kind of born with like a tail stub that kind of comes off the base of the spine.
Okay.
And then there was like a number of babies in that town that were born with these sort of tails, and you find out what's been going on.
So we've got the pictures of the X-Files filming up on the Galactic news feed at galacticnetcast.com. So if you're interested, check those out. We have a whole bunch of cool stuff up on the website. We have Gregor's splash page, comic book related news. We have all our net bites that we do throughout the week. These short little bites, these bite-sized podcasts. We do a video gaming one. We do one from Daryl from the UK. He does one for Doctor Who for us, and sometimes we'll throw them in at the end of this and other podcasts that we do. But if you just want to listen to them on their own, go to our website galacticnetcasts.com. So, Brad, are you ready to do the sightings?
Absolutely, I am.
All right, let me play the old music here.
Please identify the craft you witnessed.
A black, triangular, three-dimensional shape, huge, just flying, hovering in it.
Shaped like almost like between an egg and like a teardrop.
Two long cylinder objects flying over me.
It had a dome. I could see the occupants in
It
it.
appeared to be rotating, and it was circular to disc shape, and it hovered for maybe about 5 minutes.
It's time for sighting. So this is kind of a mishmash of things. Sometimes we do a craft from fiction or a craft from like just describing a craft that's been seen in a sighting. But then other times we do actual sightings. People like what they've seen as far as unidentified flying objects go. And you've got one of those this week.
I do, and it's... Imagine going looking for something and finding something else completely different. This took place in Fairfax, Virginia. And there were some people that had gone out to do a ghost hunt. They were looking in an area that's supposed to have ghosts in it, and they found a UFO instead.
Whoops.
So here we go. A Virginia witness at Fairfax reported watching a large square-shaped object with bright lights at 4 points and a centered red light on its bottom side, according to testimony in case 66278. This is from MUFON. From the Mutual UFO Network Witness Reporting Database. The incident began about 12:40 a.m. on May 25th of this year, so just last month. Actually, just a few weeks ago. When the witness and his daughter had a strange feeling about their environment and decided to explore the area on foot as a ghost hunt. We observed the sky and a few clouds were there. They moved at a strange, unsteady pace. The moon looked blurry, and there was a breeze that had a feeling of uncertainty attached to it, the witness stated. There are 3 graveyards within a very short walking distance of our home, and we frequently go ghost hunting with great success, so we thought maybe there was something paranormal going on. The 2 first walked to a large grassy park near the graveyards and behind their home. It is an open area with very little light interference at night, and there is a great view of the sky. We stood out there for several minutes to try and get a feel for what may be going on, and it felt a little creepy, as if we were being watched. They were able to see a shooting star followed by a second shooting star a few minutes later. Immediately after the second one, I looked to the north-northeast and saw what I thought may be a large airplane in the distance. The only thing that seemed odd was that there were two large bright lights and they were not blinking. The witness asked his daughter to look at the object as it was moving at a slow pace and toward them. It appeared to speed up a little and finally got close enough for us to see that it looked like a giant black square. Because it was dark out, it was difficult to see any details except for the lights on it. The witness described the object. As it flew slowly and quietly with absolutely no sound less than 2 miles above our heads, we noticed that there were two large, round, bright lights in front not blinking, one small red light on the bottom blinking very slowly, and two large, round, bright lights on the back blinking in unison every couple of seconds. The two began waving their hands and shouting at the object. The craft slowed down temporarily over our heads and then slowly increased in speed again to continue on the straight path it was flying. It flew away at a pace slower than any airplane I have seen, and when it got a few miles away, we saw it had stopped and was hovering. It stayed there for about a minute and then slowly increased speed again, eventually disappearing from our sight, although it was a great distance away when we last saw it, thanks to the large bright lights. Wow.
Yeah.
Ghost hunters turned into UFO witnesses.
You know, I bet you there's some UFO people that go out and actually intentionally look for UFOs that are like, those stupid ghost hunters they just got lucky. They weren't even looking, and they saw one. And we've been out there. We've been going at this for years now, and haven't seen squat. Those guys. No, that's a nice. That's cool. I like that.
No, I found that, and I thought it would be a perfect story for today.
Yeah, that's the kind of craft that I like to see. One of those just gigantic, massive ones.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard stories and I've read stories about like either the rectangle ones or the triangle ones. There's been a lot of reports of that particular configuration of craft. So that's cool. That's very, very cool. I read one recently of a witness in Chicago that saw a very similar craft to that. So maybe it's part of a fleet. Who knows? So if you guys want more of these UFO sightings, you can check out the UFO files on our website, galacticnetcast.com. It's a feature that we put up once a week. It's kind of a compilation, a chronicle of numerous, very many UFO sightings at galacticnetcasts.com. All right, let's move on to our picks for the week. And I almost forgot what this one was, because I had this prepped for last week, and we didn't just like, what was this about again? Oh yeah, it's is that okay? So it's a documentary series. It was only on for one season, a very short season too, maybe 6 episodes. It's called Uncovering Aliens, and it was one of those typical. I don't know if you saw this show a few years ago, not this one that I'm talking about, but it's called Myth Hunters. I think it's called,
yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Where they get a report and they examine it front to back, inside and out. They do experiments to try to duplicate what the witness saw. It can be UFOs. It can be something, like a cryptid, like a Bigfoot or some kind of creature or anything weird. Myth hunters would try to crack it and either prove or disprove it, and most times they actually disproved it. This is the type of show that is. It's called Uncovering Aliens, aired for one season in 2013. The show features a team of 4 professional UFO investigators that go around America investigating reports of unidentified flying objects. It's funny too because it's like every possible facet of the US UFO community. There's like the scientist, there's like the true believer, there's the guy that got abducted by aliens at one time, and he thinks that they're no, the guy that was abducted by aliens think that they're out to get us. There's another guy that has seen the craft before who thinks that they're reaching out to us. They're trying to spread harmony in the galaxy. They just want us to join the galactic community. So there's 2 guys that are kind of opposite ends of the spectrum. And then there's the scientist person, then there's one other person. It's like a team of 4 people. And they go around and they take a case-by-case situation, and they look at all the stuff just like the myth hunters. It's a very interesting show. I can see why it didn't last more than 1 season, because it wasn't that good. It was interesting, but it wasn't that good. It was just a typical reality show that you've all seen before. I mean, we've seen this format of show before, and the 2 reports that they covered, the 2 incidences that they covered on this episode that I watched, were kind of like not that good. Like, it was like you'd think they would have picked better ones, like, I don't know, the more known ones. I mean, I'm taking this one just because it's a very well-known case, but like the Travis Walton case, or not some guy in Virginia. Like one of the cases that they covered was some guy in Virginia. They kept on seeing lights off the beach almost every night. And obviously they're probably, because there was a Air Force base nearby, and they pretty much figured out that it was Air Force, like airplanes from the Air Force base. I don't know. It was okay. You can check it out. Good luck finding it. It was like on Discovery Science, I believe, here in Canada. Might be on a different channel in the States. Just check your local listings. It's called Uncovering Aliens, and you might like it. It's okay. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'll go a 6.
A 6? A solid 6?
Yeah, solid 6. Yeah.
Okay.
No, it was not the best, but it wasn't terrible.
That is a ringing endorsement.
All right. Maybe yours would be better. What do you got for us this week?
Well, I was kind of cruising around Netflix and saw that there was a new anime, and it's called Gargantia on the Verdurous planet. And it's a very fascinating anime. I watched the first 2 episodes, and then I had to watch all the rest of them because I just had to know, because the mystery is just too amazing to me.
What's the mystery, Brad? Tell us.
This when it starts out, there is a young man in a kind of a large mech suit, and he's fighting in space. And we come to find out that there is a space octopus race, for lack of a better term, that is trying to kill off mankind. And when this first starts out, they're opening up a wormhole so that they can go to this like core nest place where these space octopuses are. And they're going to mount a massive offensive. And there are so many that it does not go well. And our protagonist, in an attempt to try to get back to this wormhole during the retreat, loses grip and ends up kind of getting shot out somewhere in space. We come to find out, because the character blacks out, we come to find out that our main character Our main character has actually landed on Earth, and it is the Earth of our future. And after the 5th ice age on the planet, mankind ends up taking old ships, be it, aircraft carriers, whatever kind of seaworthy vessel that they can, and they start lumping these ships together, attaching them side by side in an attempt to create large communities so that they can survive. And our main ship or main colony is the Gargantia, which, part of the name of the show. So the mystery is, he's landed in this place. His suit is an artificial intelligence that is designed to assist in battle and to give him advice and to analyze and to do military-based things. And it determines how far away they are, and that it would take close to 4,000 years for a signal to get to home. Wow. That's how far off course he is.
That's a long time.
It is. And we come to find out that these space squid that he is fighting are actually on this planet too, on Earth. How and why? Because they're different. They're not quite like the ones that he knows. And there's a whole mystery as to how he got there, and something else appears that shouldn't be there either. And there's a whole mystery behind that. It is 1 season long. It is 13 episodes, and I highly recommend it. It's an interesting societal structure. It's an interesting group of characters that are banded together. Just like any standard anime, your protagonist is very broody, and there is a cute girl that is very into him. So you have that.
Is it Japanese anime?
It is Japanimation, yes.
Okay, so is anime kind of like champagne, where you can't call champagne champagne unless it comes from the Champagne region of France? Is that the same way with anime?
I'm sure that there is a strong argument for that. Yeah, I would almost say yes.
Okay. Okay.
I enjoy anime. I do not go out of my way to find it. It seems to find me. So what little I know, and I'm certain that our listeners could probably set us straight on that if they contact us at galacticnetcasts@gmail.com, and they can let us know if anime is like champagne or sparkling wine. But it's well worth the watch. It was the nice thing about it. It's very episodic, and the episodes end on an interesting cliffhanger, but not like crappy drama. Something serious happens at the end of the episodes, and there's startling revelations in some of them at the end, or it just really drew me in and made me want to watch the entire series, just binge watch it, and that's exactly what I did. So it's called Gargantia on the Verdurous planet, and it's on Netflix now.
I'm a little bit confused, Brad. So he is human, but he comes from a different time in our timeline? Is that the deal?
No, he is definitely from the same time.
Okay.
But what I'm saying is Earth had this like 5th ice age.
Okay.
And so I don't want to give anything away.
Okay, all right. I won't let you. I won't make you.
I felt like I was just on the border of giving something away, but
if I want to know, I will have to. I'll have to check it out myself.
Yeah, because the revelations are like, oh, yeah, that makes sense. And some of the things where you're scratching your head saying, okay, well, if this is happening, how did this happen? And they explain it. So it's not like crappy explanations where you're just left going, well, okay, whatever, and you accept something. It is actually explained in a logical fashion, and it's not like kids sort of, and I've watched some, cheesy anime like Pokemon or stuff that's definitely designed for children. This is not designed for children. This is designed for, at least 12 and up.
Okay.
So,
all right.
Well worth the time.
I will put that on my list. I'll put it in my queue, my Netflix queue. Although I'll have to check because we have Canadian Netflix and it sucks. So we may not have it here in the Great White North.
Yeah, I believe that it was produced or at least released to the States through Bandai. So,
okay. All right. Thank you very much, Brad. We'll put the links to everything, including our picks, in the show notes of the podcast, or you can check it out on the show page at galacticnetcasts.com. Before we get out of here, I wanted to mention real quick that we got our show on a new podcast service. I'm trying to find it here. Bear with me for a moment. Oh, I think I'm on the wrong Twitter account. I'm on the Galactic Netcast Twitter. I'm supposed to be on my own personal one to find out. Hang on. Okay. This makes for great radio, doesn't it? Searching for something, trying to figure something out. Anyways, I'm not going to find this exact service, but I did want to say that, if you're looking for a place to listen to the Alien Invasion or any of the Galactic Netcast shows, we're available almost on any platform there is. We are on, if you like just watching the video, we're on YouTube. If you like to just stream the podcast, we're on Stitcher. We're on iTunes. We're on, what's the one that I use? I use Stitcher, and I also use this other service. It's called, again, me looking for something. Gonna help me out here, Brad. When I'm struggling like this, just try to fill in the gaps a little bit. Pocket Casts.
I could do a little soft shoe, perhaps.
Yeah.
I doubt that anybody would hear it.
Yeah. So Pocket Casts or any of the the podcatcher apps, just go on to your either iTunes or if you don't go through iTunes to get your podcasts, get an app that plays podcasts, and you're guaranteed to find us on there. So there you go. That's what I wanted to say. That's the message I wanted to get across to all of you listening.
Nice.
All right. So you can find us at galacticnetcasts.com. We're on YouTube, youtube.com/galacticnetcasts. And like we've been saying, leave us feedback, please. galacticnetcasts@gmail.com. You can leave that voice message on the website as well, or call 805-328-3966. All right, that does it for this edition of the Alien Invasion. And before we get out of here, final thoughts as always. Brad, do you have anything?
Just saw the new posters for the Ant-Man movie that's coming out July 17th.
Is it the ones with like Iron Man and Captain America and Thor?
Yes,
those?
And also there's a Russian poster that they've released, which reminds me a bit of everybody do yourself a favor and do a Google search for Steve Ditko. That's Ditko. And he was an artist for Marvel and was very instrumental in doing the S.H.I.E.L.D. comic book when Marvel was a pop art that was listed on their covers. They were popular art.
It was very stylistic, right?
Very stylized. And that poster, that Russian poster, reminded me of a Nick Fury, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. Cover from the late 60s. that just had such a beautiful stylized look to it. And if you find this Russian cover and then look up Steve Ditko, you'll go, oh yeah, I think I can see that too.
Speaking of Marvel and Ant-Man, the latest rumor is Ant-Man is in Captain America's Civil War as Giant Man. That's the rumor that I read this week.
It's going to be interesting because the PIM particles, as we're going to discover more, work both ways. You can make somebody super small, or you can make somebody super big.
Yep.
So
that's exciting stuff. I love when they add characters to the Marvel universe, to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. That's going to be cool. Add new blood. That's what we need. New blood. All right. That's going to do it for this edition of I'm going to get my old blood out of here. And until next time, Brad, we will talk to you later.
Sounds good, Dave.